Hello and welcome to T-shirt design course. This is class project number 2. So in this class project number 2, the name is creating a T-shirt design using unique text effects. So in this class project, students are tasked to create a T-shirt design using text effects. The theme is up to the students. So what do the students have to do? The students at first have to create an A4 size document, create several lines of text. They can vary from sentences to words. It can be a slogan, it can be a sentence, it can be a paraphrasing, like NYC, which stands for New York City, like that. And then they can add effects using tools and normal effects or techniques that are shown previously in our lessons to make text more unique. And then add shadows to text or add neon effect to the text as well. Then export the mockups for showcase. So let's go ahead and get started with our class project. So let us go with the word mind. So I'm going to go ahead and first create a line. There you go. This line seems to be okay, and I'm going to realign it to the center over here. Now going to our type on path tool, I'm going to go ahead and create, or the vertical type tool. I could use the vertical type tool. I'm just going to undo it, and then use the vertical type tool and select on the path over here. Now I'm going to delete everything and type in M-I-N-D, mind. There you go. Now I'm going to increase the font size. There you go. Now using the selection tool, I want to put this at the top over here. And that would be at the bottom, and then increase the font size again so that it fills up. There you go. Now I want to change the font for it. So let us go for something which is very bold. Let's go for impact. Impact is good. There you go. Impact is good. Now I'm going to realign it, but before that, I would want to go to object and expand it to create it a vector. There you go. And then realign it towards the center. Now, once that is done, now each word will represent something. So for mind over here, I want M to represent memory, I to represent intelligence, N to represent neuroscience, and D to represent dreams. So let me go and create our type tool and type in. So for memory, memory, there you go. Another text. For intelligence, I-N-T-E-L-I-G-E-N-C-E, intelligence. For N, we have neuroscience, so N-E-U-R-O-S-C-I-E-N-C-E, neuroscience, there you go. And for D, we have dreams, D-R-E-A-M-S, dreams, there you go. Now, I would want to select everything, change the size of it, and lower it down. That looks perfect. Then I'm going to realign everything like this, but each will be their own. There you go. And this one over here. Now I'm going to expand all of this again. Going to object, then expand. Okay, there you go. Everything is expanded again. Now I'm going to keep this over here, and this one over here, this one over here. There you go. And this one over here. Now I want guidelines. So I want to press Ctrl-R to put in some guidelines. I want to put, let's say, this one over here. Then I can realign everything, and then another guideline over here for memory. I want to select this guideline and move it. But as you can see, it's locked. So I want to unlock the guidelines. So I unlock the guidelines and I want to move it over here. There you go. Move it a little bit towards the top over here. There you go. Now I would want to move this alongside our guide over here. There you go. That looks perfect. There you go. Now I would want to do the same thing Same thing for every single one over here. So I'm going to add more guidelines towards I over here. Perfect. And towards N over here. There you go. And towards D over here, the bottom part of D over here. There you go. Now I'm going to move every single one of this towards our guideline, snapping it towards our guideline so that everything is aligned perfectly. And for dreams over here as well. There you go. That looks perfect. Now I'm going to select all the guidelines and delete them. There you go. Now we have our part. Now I'm going to rescale it and lower it down a little bit so that it fits our artboard. I'm going to group everything together so that I can realign them towards the center of our artboard and then ungroup them again. There you go. Now I want to ungroup every single one of this, or I can group them again. Let me group them again because I want to change the color. So I'm going to go with a bright color and then put it into a black colored t-shirt. So I'm going to go ahead, select this one, then select this, select this, select this, and change the fill color to, let's say, a cyan blue. There you go. And all of this will be a darker shade of blue. There you go. That looks perfect. The darker shade of blue doesn't look all that good, so I'm going to go for, let's say, this color blue, lighter shade of blue. There you go. That looks perfect. Now I'm going to add some shadows to it, like white neon type shadow glow to it. So I'm going to go ahead and ungroup or copy this. There you go. And put this on top. There you go. Now I want to see where I have selected this. I want to select the bottom part and then basically ungroup them. So I can now select each and every single one of them and then resize it a bit. There you go. That looks perfect. Select this one, resize it a bit. There you go. Select this one, resize it a bit. Select this one, resize it a bit. There you go. Now each and every single one of them has been resized. Now I'm going to select all of them and then I'm going to go to effect over here, then going to go to blur, Gaussian blur. There you go. Add in like much more Gaussian blur like this. Okay. And then change the color to white. Now this will not be visible here. There is a reason for that, is because we have a white background. So I'm going to go ahead, create a new layer, put this layer below that layer, select this layer, select our rectangle tool, add in a black color fill for the rectangle tool, not for that one. I want to first deselect everything, then go to layer 2. Then while selecting the rectangle tool, I want to add in a black background over here. Not like that, undo that one, and then add a black background to it. There you go. And then I'm going to log this layer and then go back to layer 1. As you can see, we can now see the effect. But the effect over here, as you can see, this is the effect. No, not that one. This is the effect. There you go. Not that one. This is the effect, yes. Then I'm going to go to effect, go to blur again, Gaussian blur again, then apply new effect, and then apply the Gaussian blur a little bit more so that it looks like a glow, a neon glow to it. Then I'm going to press OK and change the neon glow color to like that, which is similar to that, our previous color. Now that looks like a neon glow over there. Now the mind over here, as you can see, there is no stroke. I'm going to add a stroke to it. I'm going to add like a white stroke to it. There you go. And as you can see, that looks like that looks pretty much like a neon glow. Now I want to add another neon glow like effect to all the text over here. Now this neon glow effect will be a bit different. So I'm going to select the memory over here of memory and then copy another version of it. Paste it on top over here. There you go. Or paste it like that. Or I'm going to go to object or go to edit, then copy, then paste it in back. So I'll have a different copy over here. So if I were to select this, not that one, if I were to select this, and then increase the size a bit. There you go. Now this is the top part, this is the bottom part. So after selecting the bottom part, what I'm going to do is disable or enable. This is the top part, sorry. No, this is the bottom part. I'm going to undo that again. What I'm trying to achieve here is basically after increasing our size of our text over here, then basically adding in a white effect like that. But before that, let me undo everything. So I would want to add a white stroke to it and a no fill to it. There you go. And the stroke size, I want to increase it. There you go. And then add in an effect of blur, Gaussian blur, but not that much blur, a little bit blur. There you go. Maybe 5 pixels, 5 pixels I think is enough. There you go. And then put it on top. There you go. And as you can see, that's also a type of a neon effect. Now for the bottom part, this is the bottom part, this is the effect part. So the bottom part, when selected, as you can see, if I were to select each and every single one over here, this is the one that's selected on the top part. I don't want the top part. The bottom part, I would want to add in a stroke. So if we were to add in a stroke, as you can see, nothing changes because, wait, let me select, yes, this is the one that I've selected. Now I would want to add in a stroke. If I were to add in a black stroke, as you can see, it will look like that. So black stroke makes it look like it has a neon effect, but you can see that if I were to undo it, it looks still the same, but that looks much more refined. So I'm going to change the stroke back to black. As you can see, it has a neon effect to it. Now I'm going to do the same thing for everything over here. So I'm going to go for intelligence, go to edit, go to copy, go to paste in front, and then select this. Now to make things, now this one or this one are the same, so I'm going to group them together so that it looks much more like that. I'm going to delete this. I'm going to select this. As you can see, I'm going to rename it. For intelligence, intelligence. There you go. I'm renaming it to manage it much more better in the layers. So I'm going to go to edit, go to copy, then go to paste and front. There you go. Now I have two. Now from the bottom part, I want to select that, give it a no fill, give it a fill of white, a stroke of white color, and then go to effect, go to blur, basically do the same things. Add in a 5 part over there. So the blur part's over there. Now I want to change it and bring it on top over here. But as you can see, the stroke is not that much. So I'm going to increase the stroke 3 points. There you go. Now it looks the same as the top part. Now I'm going to go to select the bottom part again and then add a stroke of black color. There you go. Then I'm going to group them together. Ctrl G so that they are in the same part. Now I'm going to do the same for Euroscience here and Dreams here as well. So I'm going to select this and select this. You can select both of them together. Then go to edit, go to copy, go to paste in front or paste in back. But before that, let me change or rename our files here. So Euroscience, there you go. And for Reams over here, I want to select Reams. Reams is selected. I want to change the name to Reams over here so that it's much more easier for us to manage it in our layer panel. So I'm going to go to edit, go to copy, then go to paste and font. There you go. So we have Reams, 2 Reams over here and 2 Euroscience over here. So I'm going to select Euroscience on the front over here. So I'm going to paste it there. There you go. Euroscience on the front and Reams there. And I would want to go to no fill and add the white color as the stroke. There you go. Increase the stroke color to 3 and then go to effect, go to blur and Gaussian blur. There you go, 5 pixels. Okay. Then I would want to select the bottom layers of both this one and this one. So once these two are selected, I want to give a stroke of black color to it. There you go. Now I would want to group them together. So Reams group together and Euroscience group together. There you go. Now we are done with our design over here. So now let us first go to our t-shirt mockup and see how this looks like. So I'm going to select everything over here aside from the black background. Press Ctrl C to copy it. Now go to Photoshop. Over here, as you can see, we have our previous class project design. Then I'm going to go ahead, click on our layer over here, Smart Object. Then I'm going to paste it as pixels. There you go. We have this now. I'm going to press Enter to place it in and then close it and save it. Then we have this. This is what it looks like here in our white design. Now I intended this to be placed in a black t-shirt design. So I'm going to go ahead under the t-shirt color section over here, go and select the color over here and then use the brush tool, change it to black. Okay, and change everything to black. Now the reason why the design here doesn't look, because we are using a filter which is intended for a white background. So I'm going to go ahead and right click on our design smart object and go to blending, and here in the lighten part, screen part, you have the color dodge, then you have the linear dodge, then you have the lighter color. The lighter color looks perfect here. The color dodge here basically makes it much more vivid. The white part's much more vivid and the dark part's much more darker. So I'm going to go for linear color or color linear dodge. The lighten also works. So I'm going to go for lighten color. You can also add overlay, soft light. You can add hard light as well, but that doesn't look okay. You can add vivid light, linear light as well. Pin light, hard mix, difference, exclusion, subtract, divide. Divide makes the color different. You have hue, saturation, but those will not work in a darker background. Let's go for let us go for lighten. Lighten looks perfect. Now if I'll press OK, I'll just zoom in a bit, and as you can see, I'll zoom out a bit, and as you can see, the N, the D, they do not have the t-shirt texture on it because that doesn't look very natural. So I'm going to go ahead, change the blending options again. The screen doesn't also work. For this, I think linear dodge add works better. And then change the opacity to, let's say, 70%. Okay. Now, as you can see, it's much more visible now. Looks much more natural now. So that looks perfect. And that will be all for our t-shirt design mockup. And that will be all for class project number 2. And thank you. Bye.